I'm Jono. This is Vultr versus OVHcloud. Let's check the specs per dollar.
The price-performance challenger and the European infrastructure giant. One was bootstrapped for a decade before 660 million arrived in 12 months, competing on compute per dollar with 32 regions and a terms of service that appeared to claim perpetual rights over hosted content. The other has been vertically integrated since 1999, building its own servers in its own factories, providing bare metal at costs the competition structurally cannot match, with a data center fire whose backup promise was never fully kept. Vultr and OVHcloud. Both are cheaper than the developer-focused and acquired veteran competitors. Both have sharper edges. Both produce support complaints harsher than anything documented for the other two. The question is whether you optimize for regions, instance variety, and accelerated computing under funded growth, or for bandwidth, bare metal economics, and European sovereignty under vertical integration. Vultr was founded in 2014 under a parent company that stays quiet while the product brand faces the public. Bootstrapped for a decade, the resources went into hardware, instance variety, and geographic expansion rather than polished interfaces and documentation. In December 2024, the first outside equity arrived. 333 million from the chip manufacturer whose accelerated computing hardware the platform already deployed. 3.5 billion valuation. 6 months later, 329 million in credit financing. The money is designated for accelerated computing infrastructure. 32 global regions, bare metal on demand. The accelerated computing instances serve the machine learning market. The March 2024 Terms of Service update appeared to claim perpetual rights over hosted content. Support gave no substantive response when a user objected. In February 2023, an account was suspended without warning with all production servers taken offline. A March 2023 marketing vendor breach exposed roughly 188,000 records. The core platform was unaffected and the disclosure was prompt. A report of the provider throttling a widely used tunneling protocol raised concerns for users running self-hosted network infrastructure. The product competes on specifications per unit of cost and wins that comparison against every other provider covered here. The experience and the legal surface are rougher than the providers that charge more. OVHcloud was founded in 1999 in northern France. The model is vertically integrated. The servers are designed and assembled in company-owned facilities. The data centers are operated directly. The network is managed end-to-end. The cost advantage that results from controlling the entire hardware supply chain produces bare metal pricing and bandwidth inclusion that no other provider in the comparison can structurally replicate. The company went public on the Paris Exchange in October 2021. Revenue exceeded €1 billion in the fiscal year, ending February 2025. In March 2026, the European Central Bank selected the platform for the digital currency sovereign cloud. In March 2021, a fire destroyed one data center in Strasbourg and badly damaged another. Customers without off-site backups lost data permanently. The company committed to free backups by default. The commitment was never fully delivered. In January 2026, a paid hosting plan was cancelled 6 months early, with the website wiped while the user tried to renew. Support did not respond. In December 2025, a community thread described the platform's state as disastrous. The infrastructure economics are the best available. The customer-facing systems do not match. The geographic reach favors Vultr. 32 data center regions compared to 44 data centers for the European provider, but the distribution and the on-demand availability across those regions gives Vultr the edge for workloads that need presence in many locations simultaneously. The European provider's expansion is adding locations across 3 continents, but the core footprint remains heavily European. The bandwidth economics favor OVHcloud. Unmetered bandwidth on dedicated servers is the direct result of owning the network. Vultr meters, bandwidth, and charges for overages. For high-traffic workloads, media delivery, and services where bandwidth cost is a significant line item, the European provider's model produces lower total cost even when the base server price is comparable. The traffic protection comparison is close. Vultr provides built-in mitigation that detects and reroutes malicious traffic in approximately 60 seconds. OVHcloud system provides always-on network-level filtering at no additional cost. Both include protection without separate charges. The European provider's system has been operating longer and at larger scale through the company's network infrastructure. The bare metal comparison favors OVHcloud on cost and Vultr on variety. OVHcloud's vertical integration produces the lowest bare metal pricing available. Vultr offers more configuration options and on-demand availability across more regions. For a user who needs a specific bare metal configuration in a specific location, Vultr is more likely to have it available immediately. For a user who needs the lowest cost for a dedicated server with unmetered bandwidth, OVHcloud provides it. The trust concerns are different in character. Vultr's terms of service controversy is a legal and contractual concern about content rights. OVHcloud's Strasbourg fire and unfulfilled backup promise is an operational and trust-keeping concern. Vultr's concern is about what the company claims it can do with your data. OVHcloud's concern is about what happens to your data when the infrastructure fails and whether the company follows through on its commitments afterward. Someone who needs accelerated computing instances, who deploys across many regions, who wants on-demand bare metal with configuration variety, and who is comfortable reading the terms of service carefully before committing should lean toward Vultr. The funded growth positions the platform for the machine learning infrastructure market. The 32 regions provide the broadest geographic distribution in the comparison. The specifications per unit of cost on the high-frequency tiers are the best available. The terms of service concern should be verified before deployment. The account suspension pattern requires the same mitigation as every other provider. Backups outside the platform and a migration plan that does not depend on account access. Someone who needs bare metal with unmetered bandwidth at the lowest available cost, who requires European data residency or sovereignty positioning, who runs bandwidth-heavy workloads where the cost of traffic is a significant factor, and who has the technical capability to manage infrastructure without responsive support should lean toward OVHcloud. The vertical integration produces pricing that competitors structurally cannot match. The always-on traffic protection is included without additional charges. The European Central Bank contract validates the sovereignty positioning at the highest institutional level. The support quality, the billing reliability, and the unfulfilled backup promise are the costs that come with the lowest infrastructure price. The support comparison favors neither. Both platforms produce support complaints that the community describes more harshly than the developer-focused or acquired veteran competitors. Vultr's support gave the runaround on the terms of service objection. OVHcloud's support did not respond while a paid plan was being cancelled early and a website was being wiped. For users who need support to function reliably during a crisis, neither platform's documented record provides confidence. The mitigation for both is the same. Do not depend on support during an emergency, maintain independent backups, have a migration path prepared. The funded versus integrated question is the strategic difference. Vultr has received over 660 million in 12 months, deploying it into accelerated computing and expansion. OVHcloud derives its cost advantage from 25 years of controlling the hardware supply chain. Vultr's trajectory depends on whether the funded growth produces returns. OVHcloud's depends on whether the infrastructure economics hold, while the customer experience remains the weakness. Both platforms serve users who prioritize cost over convenience and who bring the technical capability to manage what the provider does not manage for them. The developer-focused competitor charges more for a reason. The acquired veteran charges more for a reason. The premium those providers charge buys documentation, onboarding, support responsiveness, and a customer experience calibrated for users who need guidance. The two providers in this comparison charge less and provide less of that customer-facing investment. The infrastructure is sound in both cases. The experience of being a customer is rougher in both cases. Choose based on whether you need geographic reach and funded accelerated computing, or bandwidth economics and European sovereignty. The edges are real. The savings are also real. Whether the savings justify the edges depends on whether the technical capability to absorb them exists before they arrive.